So last weekend was the first ever Matrix British Feeder Championship. It's a brand new competition, it's never been run before. Matrix funded the whole thing. They actually put the money into the pot, so it was a free match. It was an invitation match, but also there were some tickets up for grabs, some golden tickets as well. So it was great opportunities for those people to fish against a lot of these so-called household names. And you know, it was a fantastic event. It was held at Barston Lakes, which I'm sure you all agree is a fantastic venue for that sort of a match. It was £1,000 to the winner, and I think it was £100 to each section of 10 anglers as well. So like I say, Matrix put all the money into this, and we're really hoping it's going to be an annual event. It was a fantastic success. Des Ship actually went on to win the match with £113. He had a fantastic net of fish, mainly skimmers, believe it or not. He drew peg 56, which for those of you that know Barston, it's up just round that corner into the deep water. They can be really good winter pegs, obviously, because that's the deepest area of the lake. But he caught on a method feeder, mainly skimmers and bream. I think he had at least one carp that was double figures late on down the side, but like I said, the vast majority was skimmers and bream. So an awesome net of fish, £113. So he was the first person to win that title. Over the moon for him. Well done, Des, if you're watching. Fantastic event, you know. And the biggest thing for me, obviously I'm connected with Matrix, but I had nothing to do with the organisation of the event or anything like that, or the idea of it. But I was there as an angler and obviously representing Matrix. But it was just fantastic to see those golden ticket winners just turn up, and they just never stopped smiling right from the start. They had breakfast there at Barston. They got to have a chat with a lot of the lads that they see in magazines and on videos and stuff. And you know, they just really enjoyed it. I'm not sure if any of them won a section or anything like that, but I saw a couple of them in my section, and they just couldn't stop smiling. They loved every minute of it. I think one of them, he drew next to Alan Scottorn. You know, the opportunities like that don't come around very often for a lot of people, because you know, they're in different areas of the country, or they just can't get on these higher profile matches. So as far as I'm concerned, it was a massive success. So big thank you to Matrix for organising that and running it alongside Joe Carras at David Hall Publishing. And fingers crossed, there may be a bit of a change to the format next year, but like I say, we're hoping it's going to go ahead next year, and it'd be great to see it as an annual event. I know people ask about my match. I drew an area that I'm not really that keen on, to be fair. I've never fished the peg before, peg 48, and it's just before you get to the point where it goes round into the deep water. And you know, in a nutshell, when I fished certain ways, like there was a spell where after 45 minutes it looked like it was going to be hard there. I drew next to Dave Roberts, who was on my right, and a fellow Matrix angler, Lee Wright, on my left. And you know, after 45 minutes it looked like it was going to be hard. There weren't no carp caught there, there were no F1s. So I've kind of just had a quick look for skimmers, and I've gone in with pellets and not really had a fantastic response. So I've switched to worm. I've had a kilo of worm with me just in case it was going to be a hard section. And I'm not kidding, for the next 45 minutes I've had an indication and a bite every single cast. And I'm not talking about skimmers and bream. A lot of them were skimmers in the kind of 10-12 ounce bracket, which has been fantastic to see those fish there in those numbers. But there were lots of roach as well, loads of roach. You just couldn't fish a cage properly. You had to shorten the tail up and put a bigger hook on and all that sort of thing. Those few pegs there seemed to be fishing quite hard, but after an hour and a half maybe, it soon became apparent that the pegs round the corner, round to the right where Des was, and Andy Powers and Warren Martin and another Matrix angler was on the end peg, on peg 60 I think it was. They were all catching, they caught right from the off, so we were chasing a big weight. So I quickly had to chuck the skimmer rod up the bank and just kind of fish a method. I just went looking for F1s and carp and that sort of thing. I couldn't really get the bream lined up like Des was catching them and like they were around the corner. So I just kind of chased it a little bit, you know. I wasn't going to win the match. We heard they were catching carp. Rob Walton was catching carp down to my left in the teens. And you know, we were never going to catch that sort of weight anyway, because we heard he was on £100 going into the last hour or so. With no idea Des had caught quite as many as what he had. And you know, it was a fantastic day. Like I say, we had loads of bites, fishing with a cage feeder with worm and smaller pellets. It was a bite every single cast. You know, I can't remember fishing a match there where there's been so many fish there, just constantly attacking the bait. You know, they weren't the stamp of fish that I needed, but it was a fantastic day. I ended up with exactly £35 put that on the scales. Dave Roberts was the same on my right, and Lee Wright's fished a great match. He's fished definitely 3, and it might be 3.5, maybe even 4 hours. He's fished with a cage feeder, and he's adapted it so that it worked, and he's just constantly kept putting fish in the net, you know, small fish, small skimmers, but he's had a really, really nice day, and I think he ended up on 37 pounds, and, you know, cracking net of fish, you know, and he just enjoyed his day, you know. It became apparent that we weren't going to win anything, so he just really enjoyed his day, and he had a fantastic net of fish. So well done, Lee, on that one, mate. And yes, you took the pound off me, so, you know, I'll let you hold on to that for a bit longer till next time I draw next to you. For those that are interested in that event, there is going to be a video within the next few days going on live on the Matrix Facebook page and YouTube channel, I believe. So what I'll do is I'll give you a heads up about that when it's finished. It's in editing as we speak, so that will be going up over the next few days. So that'll give you a great opportunity to get a feel for the event, just to see all your favourite anglers fishing, and just obviously through video footage it's so much better to watch the match. Results are already out there as well for anyone to see, so I'll put a link below for you. It's on the Fish Matrix website, so if you want to scrutinise the results. And there's also a slight change to the format for next year as well, where a certain number from each section actually qualified for next year's event, so they don't have to qualify for that event. So thankfully I'm on that list, so I won't need to go through any sort of qualification for the event in 2019, which is a bit of a relief. Another thing I've noticed this week, and I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning this, and that's Jon Arthur. Jon is somebody that I kind of, when I first got back into my fishing in 2010, I was fishing at club level, and I did that right from when I was too old fishing for the England youth side. When I got to 19, I just kind of went to college, university, did all that sort of stuff, and fished at a very, very low club level, if you want to say that, but I enjoyed my fishing. 2010 I got a particular match result, just kind of rekindled my love for match fishing on the open scene, and I wanted to get into it, you know. And what I did was I went up to the local shop and I bought a match fishing magazine that month, and I've got a picture of it now on the front cover, and that just kind of reignited my hunger for it, and just wanting to kind of get back on the circuit and try and get some results and just get back into my fishing. That magazine obviously meant that, you know, it got my thirst for it again. I could see the kind of how the venues were fishing and what kind of kit people were using and all that sort of stuff now. And what I did was, because I wanted to get back into it, I was kind of on my own sort of thing. So I actually sent a message to Jon Arthur, who was working at David Hall Publishing then. He'll not even remember this, and if you are watching this, Jon, thank you so much for this, and I'll explain why I'm mentioning this shortly. I've mentioned that, you know, this week I've seen him on Facebook. He's actually got his level 2 coaching certification, which is fantastic. He's obviously going into coaching, which I think is brilliant, because back in 2010 when I sent him a message, just saying, look Jon, I want to get back into fishing. I can't remember if it was an email or on Messenger, but it was 2010, I know that. And I said, do you know any teams that are looking for anglers in this area? Because he was very much involved with team fishing. I think he may have been with Super Team, I think that might be right, Jon. And Jon was winning in everything then. I think he won something like 3 UK champs titles, but he was winning on canals as well, the British waterways competitions as well, I think there were, and he was winning on canals and doing really well in the team. And, you know, the team circuit, and, you know, it was cracking all round. All the results he was getting was on commercials, naturals, canals, all sorts. And to see him going to coaching, I think that's brilliant. So anybody, please, you know, anyone's going into coaching, please, I'll put his email address below. I hope you don't mind me doing that, Jon, but I really, you know, hope it takes off for you, because had you not suggested to me what you did back in 2010, I don't think I would have been here now. And basically I asked if you knew if there was a team in this area where I could get involved in, or anybody was looking for anglers, and you did. And I think you recommended Garbolino Osset, or Browning Osset as it is now, and I went along and met the lads there, and fortunately got into their side and fished with them for 2 years, and that really got me back on the scene, you know. And had you not done that, Jon, you probably can't even remember this message, and you probably don't even realise it was me anyway. But thank you for that, Jon. I really appreciate it, because I'd probably still be at club level now, just kind of trundling along, going out at weekends and all that like you do. So thanks very much, Jon. I hope it takes off for you. But anybody interested in cracking all round coaching, his email's below for you. Right, I've got a pile of questions, and the good news is, I'll say it right now, is because I know a lot of people have been asking, is that 4 Minute Friday is coming back. So tomorrow night, 6:30, there will be another 4 Minute Friday where I can start cracking through some of these questions that a lot of you guys have been asking. They're not really specialised questions in any way, that a lot of you already know about because you've seen the format before, you know, and it can be anything from how many rods and reels do you carry to a match, to how much ground bait do you mix up for a match, to what's your favourite flask. Nice and varied. So what I've got 3 questions now for you, but like I said, there's loads tomorrow, 6:30 for the 4 Minute Friday. I've been asked this a few times, and it is, Jamie, do you ever move the feeder? You know, yeah, we used to do it all the time as a kid growing up. It was all about scratching for bites. Back then, when I first got into my fishing when I was a kid and teens, until I was about 16, commercials weren't around at all. The first commercial really that came through that I knew about really was Gold Valley down in Farnborough, down near other side of Aldershot down south. And we went there on England trials, and that was kind of a commercial where you got carp. I don't think there were F1s then, but there were crucians there and bream. That was a commercial. But prior to that, it was all natural venues, so it was always about scratching for bites. And it's one of the first things my dad ever taught me was to move the feeder. Just twitch it back, twitch it. He still does it now, you know, and it's amazing how many times that can get you bites. So whilst I don't think it's right all the time, I think sometimes you can scare the fish doing it. Sometimes you're better off just sitting and waiting. Sometimes the bottom isn't suited to you moving the feeder. But on the flip side of that, sometimes the bottom is perfect for moving the feeder, and sometimes that is the only way you can get a bite. So it's very much trial and error, but yes, I do it quite often. Someone's asked me about the underwater filming that we did. You know, I can't really show you any footage from this yet. I did do a bit of a vlog on the day for you, but Matrix is still editing that and putting it together. So yes, we did do some underwater filming. It was all about feeder fishing, and I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but it's basically about how your rig performs under the water. I'm looking forward to seeing that finished video, because obviously I've only seen the raw footage and the raw material from when we were actually on the bank. So yes, I will give you a heads up on that as soon as it gets uploaded. Someone asked me today, he says, do you ever fish the River Trent? Because they obviously know I'm from Sheffield, and obviously the River Trent was a very important river to us in this area. You know, it was our nearest biggest river, and that's where a lot of the matches were held, certainly when I was a kid, and obviously before I was even born as well. I love the Trent, but I really only get a chance to fish on there about 2 or 3 times a year. I've made a bit of a conscious effort this year that, you know, when I've got gaps in matches, I do want to keep going on the Trent, just kind of to keep myself in touch with that sort of fishing, you know, fishing on the rivers. And I do love it anyway, and it's only about 40 miles from where I live in Sheffield. I am on there in about 3 weeks time. I'm fortunate enough to have a feeder master's ticket for the tidal Trent, so I'll really be looking forward to that. But yeah, I'll get on the Trent whenever I can, and I do love fishing it, and yes, it holds lots and lots of fond memories. So like I say, tomorrow 4 Minute Friday is back 6:30, where all that is a 4 minute slot video for you, just going through bang 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 all the questions that you guys have been asking. I've got way too many just for tomorrow, so I'm going to try and roll it out every single Friday if I can until the questions run out. So if you want it to continue every Friday, keep commenting below, keep firing those questions in as random as you like, and we'll keep it going as long as the questions are coming in. Well, one of the great questions I've been asked again this week, and it's been about Ireland. You know, there's a lot of more and more people just getting in, wanting to fish festivals. They've seen 1 or 2 of the videos and stuff that I've done, and it's kind of whetted their appetite to go over there and experience it. I'm the first to say it, and I've said it a long time ago, that I'm by far no expert on fishing in Ireland. You know, I've probably only ever been to Ireland about I don't know, 10 times, 12 times, and the last 4 years it's only been 1 week each year, and that's been for the World Pairs. But I am obviously in touch with people that fish over there, and I know the kind of kit that you need to go and compete over there. There are different areas in Ireland that, you know, demand certain little bits of kit. And the question that I do get asked quite a lot is about what kind of kit do you need for fishing over there. People are obviously anxious, you know, they're going to go over there. Obviously you can drive over to Ireland, go over on the ferry, and you know, you can take all your kit with you. You want to make sure you've got everything. I got asked about the main bit of kit that you might need for over there, but what I'll do is, I mean, there's actually 2. There's 2 main bits of kit, and you might not think that they are main bits of kit, but they're very important to going and competing over there, especially in something like the World Pairs, where you are on different venues each day. Some of the festivals over there are on the same venue every day, so obviously you might know what kind of kit you need. For the World Pairs, it's quite a varied, you know, varied range of venues. So the kit wise, I've gone through it before, and I've been asked to do another video about what I actually take, and I will do that video. You know, it's all about, you know, your rods, your 5,000 reels, and just kind of making sure everything's really, really durable. The first one is a side tray box. You know, a lot of you will have seen me using them. There's a quick clip here now for you. Just me using that in Ireland. This was in the World Pairs. The reason why these boxes are so good in Ireland is because obviously they're tough and sturdy, and you can get plenty of bait in there as well. It's got a lid on it, which is obviously going to protect it from the elements and all that sort of thing. But the other issue that a lot of people kind of overlook, I certainly overlooked it when I first went, was the wind. You know, because some of these venues you might literally be faced with, there might be 2, 3, 4 miles of water straight in front of you, and obviously when you've got a wind hammering across those locks like that, the waves can get going and they can really pick up momentum, and it's blowing the bait off your side tray, which can be a massive issue. The wind can be horrendous over there. It's just nice wild fishing. That's why it's so exciting. But obviously your kit and the gear that you take has got to reflect that as well. So these boxes are brilliant purely because it's contained, your bait is contained inside the box. So even when the wind's hammering through, you can just close the lid and everything's nice and dry. It's not going to get blown out. And that has been such a massive bit of my kit for fishing in Ireland. And the other bit of kit is not something that I used for the first few times that I went to Ireland, purely because I was only feeder fishing. I never even took a pole with me, and obviously, as you know, when you're feeder fishing you don't necessarily have to get in the water or wade a long way out. Sometimes you might have to, but most of the time you don't. I just tend to extend the legs on my box as high as they go, wade out to there, and that's only probably that deep, and then obviously you've just got enough water in your keep net for hopefully plenty of fish. And that's it when you're feeder fishing. But sometimes in Ireland, you know, there are rocks, it can be really shallow, and you've got to go out in the water a little bit more. The other issue is, and it can be a bit of a safety issue as well, is because you can have such big waves coming across the lock, when you actually put your box out to, like I've just described, your drawers on your box are probably only about that high above the water surface. Sometimes the waves can be like that, so you actually need to get yourself up above those waves, you know, so but at least so they're actually just going through at shin level, and obviously you can only do that properly with a platform. There are loads of platforms out there, I know there are, there's loads out there, and there always has been, but you know, people have asked me the question about what I use, and the platform that I use is the obviously the Matrix one. And the reason why that's so good is, you know, I mean, I think it speaks volumes that there's so many top anglers out there that are nothing to do with Matrix that have gone out and they can literally choose any platform they want, and possibly a lot of them will get them free as well. But the fact that a lot of them are using the Matrix ones, I think it speaks volumes about how, you know, what a good design it is and how durable it is. The great thing about this one, an added bonus is, especially when you're going over to Ireland, is that it compacts down into a bag. You know, when you're going on competitions like the World Pairs, more often than not you're travelling with somebody, so space can be quite at a premium if you're travelling in one vehicle. Obviously having something like this that packs away is an added bonus, and it actually folds up. I'll show you. As you can see, packs away into a lovely bag like that. You know, there's even a bit of spare space in there as well that you can get if you carry a bait brolly. I carry two when I go on these kind of competitions, and they both go in there. Still loads of space in there, fantastic. It actually folds out like that. I'm not going to put it all together for you because you get the gist, I'm sure. Brilliant mud feet, which are very, very important, as you can imagine when you're wading out, especially when the bottom's soft. Nice long legs, because not only do you need enough leg under the water, you obviously need some above the water as well for all your attachments, if you're going to put your attachments onto these legs as well. And then in this side, it just assembles. You've got two cross bits like that the actual legs of your box go on, and then they're the other ones. It's just nice and really light material, super strong, and because everything packs away, it just makes everything a lot more, you know, a lot more easier to manage when you're traveling as a pair like you do on these competitions. That's why it's such a good bit of kit, you know. Like I said, because there's so many anglers out there that are nothing to do with Matrix, they're actually using these platforms. I think that speaks volumes, and you know, it's become a very, very important bit of kit, especially when you're going on wild venues like you come across in Ireland. Well, that's it. Another quick catch up for you. Hopefully I've not rambled too much, and hopefully a lot of you have just had a bit of a taste about what I've been up to, what I've seen, and just a few of the things that I've been fortunate to be involved in again this week. It's Friday tomorrow, 5-day week. I haven't done a 5-day week for a while because I've been away and stuff. So yeah, it's been really coming back down to earth for me this week as regards work. So hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for joining, thanks for subscribing. If you like videos like this, please just hit like, hit the share button. The more likes and shares and subscribers we get, the more videos I'll do like this. And you won't believe, in this pad, you won't believe how many videos are in there that are done, are complete, that I'm working on, and ones that are scheduled as well. One last question before I go. Please comment below the answer to this. I'm dying to do some videos on ground baits and the sort of mixes that I use and that sort of thing. If you've got any specific questions about what you'd like to see about ground baits, then please comment below. You know, I only want to produce material that you guys want to watch. So welcome to all the new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed already, hit subscribe down there. That'll keep you in the loop with all the future videos. Loads coming, loads coming. I wish I didn't work so that I could do one of these every day for you, because I honestly would. Have a fantastic weekend. Hopefully I'll see you on the bank, and I'll see you all in a couple of days. But don't forget, tomorrow, 4-Minute Friday, we're answering some of your questions, and I'm hoping to get another upload on either Saturday or Sunday for you. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow, 6:30.